Second Book of Samuel. Chapter 1. 1 After the death of Saul, when Daud was returned from the slaughter of the Amalekites and had been 2 days in Ziklag, behold, a man came the 3rd day out of the host from Saul with his clothes rent, and earth upon his head, and when he came to Daud, he fell to the earth, and did obeisance. 3 Then Daud said unto him, Whence comest thou? And he said unto him, Out of the host of Israel I am escaped. 4 And Daud said unto him, What is done? I pray thee, tell me. Then he said, That the people is fled from the battle, and many of the people are overthrown, and dead, and also Saul and Ionathan his son are dead. 5 And Daud said unto the young man that told it him, How knowest thou that Saul and Ionathan his son be dead? 6 Then the young man that told him answered, As I came to Mount Gilboa, behold, Saul leaned upon his spear, and lo, the charrees and horsemen followed hard after him. 7 And when he looked back, he saw me, and called me. And I answered, Here am I. 8 And he said unto me, Who art thou? And I answered him, I am an Amalekite. 9 Then said he unto me, I pray thee come upon me, and slay me, for anguish is come upon me, because my life is yet whole in me. 10 So I came upon him, and slew him, and because I was sure that he could not live, after that he had fallen, I took the crown that was upon his head, and the bracelet that was on his arm, and brought them hither to my lord. 11 Then Daud took hold on his clothes, and rent them, and likewise all the men that were with him. 12 And they mourned and wept, and fasted till even, for Saul and for Ionathan his son, and for the people of the Lord, and for the house of Israel, because they were slain with the sword. 13 Afterward Daud said unto the young man that told it him, Whence art thou? And he answered, I am the son of a stranger an Amalekite. 14 And Daud said unto him, How wast thou not afraid to put forth thine hand to destroy the anointed of the Lord? 15 Then Daud called one of his young men, and said, Go near, and fall upon him. And he smote him that he died. 16 Then said Daud unto him, Thy blood be upon thine own head, for thine own mouth hath testified against thee, saying, I ha slain the Lord's anointed. 17 Then Daud mourned with this lamentation Ouer Saul, and Ouer Ionathan his son. 18 Also he bade them teach the children of Judah to shoot, as it is written in the book of Iashar. 19 O noble Israel, he is slain upon thy high places, how are the mighty overthrown? 20 Tell it not in Gath, nor publish it in the streets of Ashkelon, lest the daughters of the Philistines rejoice, lest the daughters of the uncircumcised triumph. 21 Ye mountains of Gilboa, upon you be neither dew nor rain, nor be there fields of offerings, for there the shield of the mighty is cast down, the shield of Saul, as though he had not been anointed with oil. 22 The bow of Ionathan Noyer turned back, neither did the sword of Saul return empty from the blood of the slain, and from the fat of the mighty. 23 Saul and Ionathan were luily and pleasant in their loos, and in their deaths they were not dueted, they were swifter than eagles, they were stronger than lions. 24 Ye daughters of Israel, weep for Saul, which clothed you in scarlet, with pleasures, and hanged ornaments of gold upon your apparel. 25 How were the mighty slain in the midst of the battle? O Ionathan, thou wast slain in thine high places. 26 Was me for thee, my brother Ionathan, very kind hast thou been even to me, thy lieu to me was wonderful, passing the lieu of women, how are the mighty overthrown, and the weapons of war destroyed. Chapter 2. 1 After this, Daud asked counsel of the Lord, saying, Shall I go VP into any of the cities of Judah? And the Lord said unto him, Go VP. And Daud said, Whither shall I go? He then answered, To Hebron. 2 So Daud went VP thither, and his 2 wives also, Ahinoam the Israelite, and Abigail Nabal's wife the Carmelite. 3 And Daud brought VP the men that were with him, Uri man with his household, and they dwelt in the cities of Hebron. For then the men of Judah came, and there they anointed Daud king Ouer the house of Judah. And they told Daud, saying, That the men of Iabesh Gilead buried Saul. 5 And Daud sent messengers unto the men of Iabesh Gilead, and said unto them, Blessed are ye of the Lord, that ye ha shewed such kindness unto your lord Saul, that you ha buried him. 6 Therefore now the Lord show mercy and truth to you, and I will recompense you this benefit, because ye ha done this thing. 7 Therefore now let your hands be strong, and be you valiant, albeit your master Saul be dead, yet nevertheless the house of Judah hath anointed me king over them. 8 But Abner the son of Ner that was captain of Saul's host, took Ishbosheth the son of Saul, and brought him to Mahanaim. 9 And made him king over Gilead, and over the Asherites, and over Israel, and over Ephraim, and over Benjamin, and over El Israel. 10 Ishbosheth Saul's son was 40-year-old when he began to reign over Israel, and reigned 2 years, but the house of Judah followed Doeg. 11 And the time which Doeg reigned in Hebron over the house of Judah, was 7 years and 6 months. 12 And Abner the son of Ner, and the Sarawantes of Ishbosheth the son of Saul went out of Mahanaim to Gibeon. 13 And Ioab the son of Zeruiah, and the Sarawants of Doeg went out and met one another by the pool of Gibeon, and they sate down, the one on the one side of the pool, and the other on the other side of the pool. 14 Then Abner said to Ioab, Let the young men now arise, and play before Versus. And Ioab said, Let them arise. 15 Then there arose and went over 12 of Benjamin by number, which pertained to Ishbosheth the son of Saul, and 12 of the Sarawants of Doeg. 16 And Uri one caught his fellow by the head, and thrust his sword in his fellow's side, so they fell down together, wherefore ye place was called Helkath Hazarim, which is in Gibeon. 17 And the battle was exceeding sore that same day, for Abner and the men of Israel fell before the Sarawants of Doeg. 18 And there were 3 sons of Zeruiah there, Ioab, and Abishai, and Asahel. And Asahel was as light on foot as a wild roe. 19 And Asahel followed after Abner, and in going he turned neither to the right hand nor to the left from Abner. 20 Then Abner looked behind him, and said, Art thou Asahel? And he answered, Yea. 21 Then Abner said, Turn thee either to the right hand, or to the left, and take one of the young men, and take thee his weapons. And Asahel would not depart from him. 22 And Abner said to Asahel, Depart from me, wherefore should I smite thee to the ground? How then should I be able to hold VP my face to Ioab thy brother? 23 And when he would not depart, Abner with the hinder end of the spear smote him Vender the fifth ryb, that the spear came out behind him, and he fell down there, and died in his place. And as many as came to the place where Asahel fell down and died, stood still. 24 Ioab also and Abishai pursued after Abner, and the sun went down, when they were come to the hill Ammah, that lieth before Giah, by the way of the wilderness of Gibeon. 25 And the children of Benjamin gathered themselves together after Abner, and were on an heap and stood on the top of an hill. 26 Then Abner called to Ioab and said, Shall the sword do for Ur? Knowest thou not that it will be bitterness in the latter endy? How long then shall it be, or thou bid the people return from following their brethren? 27 And Ioab said, As God liveth, if thou hadst not spoken, surely ewen in the morning the people had departed Uri one back from his brother. 28 So Ioab blew a trumpet, and all the people stood still, and pursued after Israel no more, neither fought they any more. 29 And Abner and his men walked all that night through the plain, and went over Iordan, and passed through all Bithron till they came to Mahanaim. 30 Ioab also returned back from Abner, and when he had gathered all the people together, there lacked of Doeg's Sarawants 19 men and Asahel. 31 But the Sarawants of Doeg had smitten of Benjamin, and of Abner's men, so that 360 men died. 32 And they took VP Asahel, and buried him in the sepulchre of his father, which was in Bethlehem, and Ioab and his men went all night, and when they came to Hebron, the day arose. Chapter 3 1 There was then long war between the house of Saul and the house of Doeg, but Doeg waxed stronger, and the house of Saul waxed weaker. 2 And to Doeg were children born in Hebron, and his eldest son was Amnon of Ahinoam the Israelite. 3 And his second was Chilib of Abigail the wife of Nabal the Carmelite. And the third, Absalom the son of Maacah the daughter of Talmai the king of Geshur. 4 And the fourth, Adoniah the son of Haggith, and the fifth, Shephatiah the son of Abidal. 5 And the sixth, Ithream by Eglah Doeg's wife. These were born to Doeg in Hebron. 6 Now while there was war between the house of Saul and the house of Doeg, Abner made all his power for the house of Saul. 7 And Saul had a concubine named Rizpah, the daughter of Aiah. And Ishbosheth said to Abner, Wherefore hast thou gone into my father's concubine? 8 Then was Abner very wroth for the words of Ishbosheth, and said, Am I a dog's head, which against you to do shew mercy this day to the house of Saul thy father, to his brethren, and to his neighbors, and ha not delivered thee into the hand of Doeg, that thou chargest me this day with a fault concerning this woman? 9 So do God to Abner, and more also, except, as the Lord hath sworn to Doeg, and so I do to him. 10 To remove the kingdom from the house of Saul, that the throne of Doeg may be stablished O Israel, and O Judah, and from Dan to Beersheba. 11 And he durst no more answer it to Abner, for he feared him. 12 Then Abner sent messengers to Doeg on his behalf, saying, Whose is the land? Who should also say, Make covenant with me, and behold, mine hand shall be with thee, to bring all Israel to thee. 13 Who said, Well, I will make a covenant with thee, but one thing I require of thee, that is, that thou see not my face except thou bring Michal Saul's daughter when thou comest to see me. 14 Then Doeg sent messengers to Ishbosheth Saul's son, saying, Deliver me my wife Michal, which I married for 100 foreskins of the Philistines. 15 And Ishbosheth sent, and took her from her husband Phaltiel the son of Laish. 16 And her husband went with her, and came weeping behind her, to Bahurim. Then said Abner to him, Go, and return. So he returned. 17 And Abner had communication with the elders of Israel, saying, Ye sought for Doeg in times past, that he might be your king. 18 Now then do it, for the Lord hath spoken of Doeg, saying, By the hand of my servant Doeg I will saw my people Israel out of the hands of the Philistines, and out of the hands of all their enemies. 19 Also Abner spake to Benjamin, and afterward Abner went to speak with Doeg in Hebron, concerning all that Israel was content with, and the whole house of Benjamin. 20 So Abner came to Doeg to Hebron, having 20 men with him, and Doeg made a feast to Abner, and to the men that were with him. 21 Then Abner said to Doeg, I will rise VP, and go gather all Israel to my lord the king, that they may make a covenant with thee, and that thou mayest reign o'er all that thine heart desireth. Then Doeg let Abner depart, who went in peace. 22 And behold, the servants of Doeg and Ioab came from the camp, and brought a great prey with them, but Abner was not with Doeg in Hebron. For he had sent him away, and he departed in peace. 23 When Ioab, and all the host that was with him were come, men told Ioab, saying, Abner the son of Ner came to the king, and he hath sent him away, and he is gone in peace. 24 Then Ioab came to the king, and said, What hast thou done? Behold, Abner came to thee, why hast thou sent him away, and he is departed? 25 Thou knowest Abner the son of Ner, for he came to see thee, and to know thy outgoing and ingoing, and to know all that thou doest. 26 And when Ioab was gone out from Doeg, he sent messengers after Abner, which brought him again from the well of Sarai of knowing to Doeg. 27 And when Abner was come again to Hebron, Ioab took him aside in the gate to speak with him peaceably, and smote him Bender the 5th Ryb, that he died, for the blood of Asahel his brother. 28 And when afterward it came to Doeg's ear, he said, I and my kingdom are guiltless before the Lord for you concerning the blood of Abner the son of Ner. 29 Let the blood fall on the head of Ioab, and on all his father's house, that the house of Ioab be noyer without some that ha running issues, or leper, or that leaneth on a staff, or that doeth fall on the sword, or that lacketh bread. 30 So Ioab and Abishai his brother slew Abner, because he had slain their brother Asahel at Gibeon in Batel. 31 And Doeg said to Ioab, and to all the people that were with him, Rent your clothes, and put on sackcloth, and mourn before Abner, and King Doeg himself followed the bier. 32 And when they had buried Abner in Hebron, the king lifted his voice, and wept beside the sepulchre of Abner, and all the people wept. 33 And the king lamented o'er Abner, and said, Died Abner as a fool dieth? 34 Thine hands were not bound, nor thy feet tied in fetters of brass, but as a man falleth before wicked men, so didst thou fall. And all the people wept again for him. 35 Afterward all the people came to cause Doeg eat meat while it was yet day, but Doeg sware, saying, So do God to me and more also, if I taste bread, or aught else till the sun be down. 36 And all the people knew it, and it pleased them, as whatsoever the king did, pleased all the people. 37 For all the people and all Israel understood that day, how that it was not the king's deed that Abner the son of Ner was slain. 38 And the king said unto his servants, Know ye not, that there is a prince and a great man fall this day in Israel? 39 And I am this day weak and newly anointed king, and these men the sons of Zeruiah be too hard for me, the Lord reward the doer of ill according to his wickedness. Chapter 4 1 And when Saul's son heard that Abner was dead in Hebron, then his hands were feeble, and all Israel was afraid. 2 And Saul's son had 2 men that were captains of bands, the one called Baanah, and the other called Rechab, the sons of Rimmon a Beerothite of the children of Benjamin. For Beeroth was reckoned to Benjamin. 3 Because the Beerothites fled to Gittaim, and sojourned there, to this day. 4 And Ionadab Saul's son had a son that was lame on his feet. He was few-year-old when the tidings came of Saul and Ionadab out of Israel. Then his nurse took him, and fled away. And as she made haste to flee, the child fell, and began to halt, and his name was Mephibosheth. 5 And the sons of Rimmon the Beerothite, Rechab and Baanah went and came in the heat of the day to the house of Ishbosheth, who slept on a bed at noon. 6 And behold, Rechab and Baanah his brother came into the middes of the house as they would haw wheat, and they smote him Bender the 5th Ryb, and fled. 7 For when they came into the house, he slept on his bed in his bedchamber, and they smote him, and slew him, and beheaded him, and took his head, and gate them away through the plain all the night. 8 And they brought the head of Ishbosheth to Dodd to Hebron, and said to the king, Behold the head of Ishbosheth Saul's son thine enemy, who sought after thy life, and the Lord hath owned my lord the king this day of Saul, and of his seed. 9 Then Dodd answered Rechab and Baanah his brother, the sons of Rimmon the Beerothite, and said unto them, As the Lord liveth, who hath delivered my soul out of all adversity. 10 When one told of me, and said that Saul was dead, thinking to ha brought good tidings, I took him and slew him in Ziklag, who thought that I would ha join him a reward for his tidings. 11 How much more, when wicked man ha slain a righteous person in his own house, and upon his bed? Shall I not now therefore require his blood at your hand, and take you from the earth? 12 Then Dodd commanded his young men, and they slew them, and cut off their hands and their feet, and hanged them before the pool in Hebron. But they took the head of Ishbosheth, and buried it in the sepulchre of Abner in Hebron. Chapter 5 1 Then came all the tribes of Israel to Dodd to Hebron, and said thus, Behold, we are thy bones and thy flesh. 2 And in time past when Saul was our king, thou leddest Israel in and out, and the Lord hath said to thee, Thou shalt feed my people Israel, and thou shalt be a captain o'er Israel. 3 So all the elders of Israel came to the king to Hebron, and King Dodd made a covenant with them in Hebron before the Lord, and they anointed Dodd king o'er Israel. For Dodd was 30-year-old when he began to reign, and he reigned for 2 years. 5 In Hebron he reigned o'er Judah 7 years, and 6 months, and in Jerusalem he reigned 33 years o'er all Israel and Judah. 6 The king also and his men went to Jerusalem to the Iabusites, the inhabitants of the land, who spake to Dodd, saying, Except thou take away the blind and the lame, thou shalt not come in hither, thinking that Dodd could not come thither. 7 But Dodd took the fort of Zion, this is the city of Dodd. 8 Now Dodd had said the same day, Whosoever smitteth the Iabusites, and getteth VP to the gutters and smitteth the lame and blind, which Dodd's soul hatteth, I will prefer him. Therefore they said, The blind and the lame shall not come into that house. 9 So Dodd dwelt in that forte, and called it the city of Dodd, and Dodd built round about it, from Millo, and inward. 10 And Dodd prospered and grew, for the Lord God of hosts was with him. 11 Hiram also king of Tyrus sent messengers to Dodd, and cedar trees, and carpenters, and masons for walls, and they built Dodd an house. 12 Then Dodd knew that the Lord had stablished him king o'er Israel, and that he had exalted his kingdom for his people Israel's sake. 13 And Dodd took him more concubines and wives out of Jerusalem, after he was come from Hebron, and more sons and daughters were born to Dodd. 14 And these be the names of the sons that were born to him in Jerusalem, Shammua, and Shobab, and Nathan, and Salomon. 15 And Abhar, and Elishua, and Nepheg, and Iaphia. 16 And Elishama, and Eliada, and Eliphalet. 17 But when the Philistines heard that they had anointed Dodd king o'er Israel, all the Philistines came VP to seek Dodd, and when Dodd heard, he went down to a fort. 18 But the Philistines came, and spread themselves in the valley of Rephaim. 19 Then Doeg asked counsel of the Lord, saying, Shall I go VP to the Philistines? Wilt thou deliver them into mine hands? And the Lord answered Doeg, Go VP, for I will doubtless deliver the Philistines into thine hands. 20 Then Doeg came to Baal-perazim, and smote them there, and said, The Lord hath doeded mine enemies asunder before me, as waters be doeded asunder. Therefore he called the name of that place, Baal-perazim. 21 And there they left their images, and Doeg and his men burnt them. 22 Again the Philistines came VP, and spread themselves in the valley of Rephaim. 23 And when Doeg asked counsel of the Lord, he answered, Thou shalt not go VP, but turn about behind them, and come upon them Oer against the mulberry trees. 24 And when thou hearest the noise of one going in the tops of the mulberry trees, then remove, for then shall the Lord go out before thee, to smite the host of the Philistines. 25 Then Doeg did so as the Lord had commanded him, and smote the Philistines from Geba, until thou come to Gezer. Chapter 6. 1 Again Doeg gathered together all the chosen men of Israel, 30,000. 2 And Doeg arose and went with all the people that were with him from Baal of Judah to bring VP from thence the ark of God, whose name is called by the name of the Lord, of hosts, that dwelleth upon it between the cherubims. 3 And they put the ark of God upon a new cart, and brought it out of the house of Abinadab that was in Gibeah. And Uzzah and Ahio the sons of Abinadab did drive the new cart. 4 And when they brought the ark of God out of the house of Abinadab, that was at Gibeah, Ahio went before the ark. 5 And Doeg and all the house of Israel played before the Lord on all instruments made of fir, and on harps, and on psalteries, and on timbrels, and on cornets, and on cymbals. 6 And when they came to Nachon's threshing floor, Uzzah put his hand to the ark of God, and held it, for the oxen did shake it. 7 And the Lord was very wroth with Uzzah, and God smote him in the same place for his fault, and there he died by the ark of God. 8 And Doeg was displeased, because the Lord had smitten Uzzah, and he called the name of the place Perez-Uzzah till this day. 9 Therefore Doeg that day feared the Lord, and said, How shall the ark of the Lord come to me? 10 So Doeg would not bring the ark of the Lord to him into the city of Doeg, but Doeg carried it into the house of Obed-Edom a Gittite. 11 And the ark of the Lord continued in the house of Obed-Edom the Gittite 3 months, and the Lord blessed Obed-Edom, and all his household. 12 And one told King Doeg, saying, The Lord hath blessed the house of Obed-Edom, and all that he hath, because of the ark of God. Therefore Doeg went and brought the ark of God from the house of Obed-Edom, into the city of Doeg with gladness. 13 And when they that bare the ark of the Lord had gone 6 paces, he offered an ox, and a fat beast. 14 And Doeg danced before the Lord with all his might, and was girded with a linen ephod. 15 So Doeg and all the house of Israel brought the ark of the Lord with shouting, and sound of trumpet. 16 And as the ark of the Lord came into the city of Doeg, Michal Saul's daughter looked through a window, and saw King Doeg leap, and dance before the Lord, and she despised him in her heart. 17 And when they had brought in the ark of the Lord, they set it in his place, in the midst of the tabernacle that Doeg had pitched for it. Then Doeg offered burnt offerings, and peace offerings before the Lord. 18 And as soon as Doeg had made an end of offering burnt offerings and peace offerings, he blessed the people in the name of the Lord of hosts. 19 And gave among all the people, and among the whole multitude of Israel, as well to the women as men, to every one a cake of bread, and a piece of flesh, and a bottle of wine. So all the people departed every one to his house. 20 The Doeg returned to bless his house, and Michal the daughter of Saul came out to meet Doeg, and said, Oh how glorious was the king of Israel this day, which was encowred today in the eyes of the maidens of his Saruantes, as a fool encoureth himself. 21 Then Doeg said to Michal, It was before the Lord, which chose me rather than thy father, and all his house, and commanded me to be ruler o'er the people of the Lord, and o'er Israel, and therefore will I play before the Lord. 22 And will yet be more vile than thus, and will be low in mine own sight, and of the very same maidservants, which thou hast spoken of, shall I be had in honor. 23 Therefore Michal the daughter of Saul had no child to the day of her death. Chapter 7. 1 Afterward when the king sate in his house and the Lord had given him rest round about from all his enemies, 2 The king said to Nathan the prophet, Behold, now I dwell in an house of cedar trees, and the ark of God remaineth within the curtains. 3 Then Nathan said unto the king, Go, and do all that is in thine heart, for the Lord is with thee. 4 And the same night the word of the Lord came to Nathan, saying, 5 Go and tell my servant Doeg, Thus saith the Lord, Shalt thou build me an house for my dwelling? 6 For I ha dwelt in no house since the time that I brought the children of Israel out of Egypt to this day, but ha walked in a tent and tabernacle. 7 In all the places wherein I ha walked with all the children of Israel, spake I one word with any of the tribes of Israel when I commanded the judges to feed my people Israel? Or said I, Why build ye not me an house of cedar trees? 8 Now therefore so say unto my servant Doeg, Thus saith the Lord of hosts, I took thee from the sheepcote following the sheep, that thou mightest be ruler o'er my people, o'er Israel. 9 And I was with thee wheresoever thou hast walked, and ha destroyed all thine enemies out of thy sight, and ha made thee a great name, like unto the name of the great men that are in the earth. 10 Also I will appoint a place for my people Israel, and will plant it, that they may dwell in a place of their own, and moo no more, neither shall wicked people trouble them any more as before time. 11 And since the time that I set judges o'er my people of Israel, and I will give thee rest from all thine enemies, also the Lord telleth thee, that he will make thee an house. 12 And when thy days be fulfilled, thou shalt sleep with thy fathers, and I will set thee thy seed after thee, which shall proceed out of thy body, and will stablish his kingdom. 13 He shall build an house for my name, and I will stablish ye throne of his kingdom for ever. 14 I will be his father, and he shall be my son, and if he sin, I will chasten him with the rod of men, and with the plagues of the children of men. 15 But my mercy shall not depart away from him, as I took it from Saul whom I ha put away before thee. 16 And thine house shall be stablished and thy kingdom for ever before thee, you and thy throne shall be stablished for ever. 17 According to all these words, and according to all this vision, Nathan spake thus to Doeg. 18 Then King Doeg went in, and sate before the Lord, and said, Who am I, O Lord God, and what is mine house, that thou hast brought me hitherto? 19 And this was yet a small thing in thy sight, O Lord God, therefore thou hast spoken also of thy servant's house for a great while, but doth this appertain to man, O Lord God? 20 And what can Doeg say more to thee? For thou, Lord God, knowest thy servant. 21 For thy word's sake, and according to thine own heart hast thou done all these great things, to make them known to thy servant. 22 Wherefore thou art great, O Lord God, for there is none like thee, neither is there any God besides thee, according to all that we ha heard with our ears. 23 And what one people in the earth is like thy people, like Israel? Whose God went and redeemed them to himself, that they might be his people, and that he might make him a name, and do for you great things, and terrible for thy land, O Lord, you and for thy people, whom thou redeemedst to thee out of Egypt, from the nations, and their gods? 24 For thou hast ordained to thyself thy people Israel to be thy people for ever, and thou Lord art become their God. 25 Now therefore, O Lord God, confirm for ever the word that thou hast spoken concerning thy servant and his house, and do as thou hast said. 26 And let thy name be magnified for ever by them that shall say, The Lord of hosts is the God o'er Israel, and let the house of thy servant Doeg be stablished before thee. 27 For thou, O Lord of hosts, God of Israel, hast rewailed unto thy servant, saying, I will build thee an house, therefore hath thy servant been bold to pray this prayer to thee. 28 Therefore now, O Lord God, for thou art God, and thy words be true, and thou hast told of this good unto thy servant. 29 Therefore now let it please thee to bless the house of thy servant, that it may continue for ever before thee, for thou, O Lord God, hast spoken it, and let the house of thy servant be blessed for ever, with thy blessing. Chapter 8 1 After this now, Doeg smote the Philistines, and subdued them, and Doeg took the bridle of bondage out of the hand of the Philistines. 2 And he smote Moab, and measured them with a cord, and cast them down to the ground. He measured them with 2 cords to put them to death, and with 1 full cord to keep them alive. So became the Moabites Doeg's servants, and brought gifts. 3 Doeg smote also Hadadezer the son of Rehob king of Zobah, as he went to recur his border at the river Euphrates. 4 And Doeg took of them 1,700 horsemen, and 20,000 footmen, and Doeg destroyed all the charets, but he resurrected 100 charets of them. 5 Then came the Aramites of Damasek to succor Hadadezer king of Zobah, but Dod slew of the Aramites 22,000 men. 6 And Dod put a garrison in Aram of Damasek, and the Aramites became Saruants to Dod, and brought gifts. And the Lord sowed Dod wheresoever he went. 7 And Dod took the shields of gold that belonged to the Saruants of Hadadezer, and brought them to Jerusalem. 8 And out of Beta, and Berothai, cities of Hadadezer, King Dod brought exceeding much brass. 9 Then Toi king of Hamath heard how Dod had smitten all the host of Hadadezer. 10 Therefore Toi sent Iram his son to King Dod, to salute him, and to rejoice with him because he had fought against Hadadezer, and beaten him, for Hadadezer had war with Toi, who brought with him vessels of silver, and vessels of gold, and vessels of brass. 11 And King Dod did dedicate them to the Lord with the silver and gold that he had dedicated of all the nations, which he had subdued, 12 Of Aram, and of Moab, and of the children of Ammon, and of the Philistines, and of Amalek, and of the spoil of Hadadezer ye son of Rehob king of Zobah. 13 So Dod gave a name after that he returned, and had slain of the Aramites in the valley of Salt 18,000 men. 14 And he put a garrison in Edom, throughout all Edom put he soldiers, and all they of Edom became Dod's Saruants, and the Lord kept Dod whithersoever he went. 15 Thus Dod reigned o'er all Israel, and executed judgment and justice to all his people. 16 And Ioab the son of Zeruiah was o'er the host, and Ioshaphat the son of Ahalud was recorder. 17 And Zadok the son of Ahitub, and Ahimelech the son of Abiathar were the priests, and Sariah the scribe. 18 And Benaiah the son of Jehoiada and the Cherethites and the Pelethites, and Dod's sons were chief rulers. Chapter 9. 1 And Dod said, Is there yet any man left of the house of Saul, that I may shew him mercy for Ionathan's sake? 2 And there was of the household of Saul a Saruant whose name was Ziba, and when they had called him to Dod, the king said to him, Art thou Ziba? And he said, I thy Saruant am he. 3 Then the king said, Remaineth there yet none of the house of Saul, on whom I may shew the mercy of God? Ziba then answered the king, Ionathan hath yet a son lame of his feet. For then the king said to him, Where is he? And Ziba said to the king, Behold, he is in the house of Machir ye son of Amiel of Lodabar. 5 Then King Dod sent, and took him out of the house of Machir the son of Amiel of Lodabar. 6 Now when Mephibosheth the son of Ionathan, the son of Saul was come to Dod, he fell on his face, and did reverence. And Dod said, Mephibosheth? And he answered, Behold thy Saruant. 7 Then Dod said to him, Fear not, for I will surely shew thee kindness for Ionathan thy father's sake, and will restore thee all the fields of Saul thy father, and thou shalt eat bread at my table continually. 8 And he bowed himself and said, What is thy Saruant, that thou shouldest look upon such a dead dog as I am? 9 Then the king called Ziba Saul's Saruant, and said to him, I ha juven to thy master's son all that pertained to Saul and to all his house. 10 Thou therefore and thy sons and thy Saruantes shall till the land for him, and bring in that thy master's son may ha food to eat. And Mephibosheth thy master's son shall eat bread alway at my table. Now Ziba had 15 sons, and 20 Saruants. 11 Then said Ziba to the king, According to all that my lord the king hath commanded his Saruant, so shall thy Saruant do, that Mephibosheth may eat at my table, as one of the king's sons. 12 Mephibosheth also had a young son named Micah, and all that dwelled in the house of Ziba were Saruants to Mephibosheth. 13 And Mephibosheth dwelt in Jerusalem, for he did eat continually at the king's table, and was lame on both his feet. Chapter 10. 1 After this, the king of the children of Ammon died, and Hanan his son reigned in his stead. 2 Then said Dod, I will shew kindness to Hanan the son of Naash, as his father shewed kindness to me. And Dod sent his Saruantes to comfort him for his father. So Dod's Saruants came into the land of the children of Ammon. 3 And the princes of the children of Ammon said to Hanan their lord, Thinkest thou that Dod doth honor thy father, that he hath sent comforters to thee? Hath not Dod rather sent his Saruants to thee, to search the city, and to spy it out, and to overthrow it? For wherefore Hanan took Dod's Saruants, and shot off the half of their beard, and cut off their garments in the middle, ewen to their buttocks, and sent them away. 5 When it was told to Dod, he sent to meet them, for the men were exceedingly ashamed, and the king said, Tarry at Jericho, till your beards be grown, then return. 6 And when the children of Ammon saw that they stank in the sight of Doeg, the children of Ammon sent and hired the Aramites of the house of Rehob, and the Aramites of Zobah, 20,000 footmen, and of King Maacah 1,000 men, and of Ishtob 12,000 men. 7 And when Doeg heard of it, he sent Ioab, and all the host of the strong men. 8 And the children of Ammon came out, and put their army in array at the entreing in of the gate, and the Aramites of Zobah, and of Rehob, and of Ishtob, and of Maacah were by Themsaluz in the fieldah. 9 When Ioab saw that the front of the battle was against him before and behind, he chose of all the choice of Israel, and put them in array against the Aramites. 10 And the rest of the people he delivered into the hand of Abishai his brother, that he might put them in array against the children of Ammon. 11 And he said, If the Aramites be stronger than I, thou shalt help me, and if the children of Ammon be too strong for thee, I will come and succor thee. 12 Be strong and let Versus be valiant for our people, and for the cities of our God, and let the Lord do that which is good in his eyes. 13 Then Ioab, and the people that was with him, ironed in battle with the Aramites, who fled before him. 14 And when the children of Ammon saw that the Aramites fled, they fled also before Abishai, and entreed into the city. So Ioab returned from the children of Ammon, and came to Jerusalem. 15 And when the Aramites saw that they were smitten before Israel, they gathered them together. 16 And Hadarezer sent, and brought out the Aramites that were beyond the Reur, and they came to Helam, and Shobach the captain of the host of Hadarezer went before them. 17 When it was shewed Doeg, then he gathered all Israel together, and passed Ouer Iordan and came to Helam, and the Aramites set Themsaluz in array against Doeg, and fought with him. 18 And the Aramites fled before Israel, and Doeg destroyed 700 charreys of the Aramites, and 40,000 horsemen, and smote Shobach the captain of his host, who died there. 19 And when all the kings, that were servants to Hadarezer, saw that they fell before Israel, they made peace with Israel, and serried them. And the Aramites feared to help the children of Ammon any more. Chapter 11. 1 And when the year was expired in the time when kings go forth to battle, Doeg sent Ioab, and his Sarawantes with him, and all Israel, who destroyed the children of Ammon, and besieged Rabbah, but Doeg remained in Jerusalem. 2 And when it was evening tide, Doeg arose out of his bed, and walked upon the roof of the king's palace, and from the roof he saw a woman washing herself, and the woman was very beautiful to look upon. 3 And Doeg sent and inquired what woman it was, and one said, Is not this Bathsheba the daughter of Eliam, wife to Uriah the Hittite? For then Doeg sent messengers, and took her away, and she came to him and he lay with her. Now she was purified from her cleanse, and she returned to her house. 5 And the woman conceived, therefore she sent and told Doeg, and said, I am with child. 6 Then Doeg sent to Ioab, saying, Send me Uriah the Hittite. And Ioab sent Uriah to Doeg. 7 And when Uriah came to him, Doeg demanded him how Ioab did, and how the people fared, and how the war prospered. 8 Afterward Doeg said to Uriah, Go down to thine house, and wash thy feet. So Uriah departed out of the king's palace, and the king sent a present after him. 9 But Uriah slept at the door of the king's palace with all the servants of his lord, and went not down to his house. 10 Then they told Doeg, saying, Uriah went not down to his house, and Doeg said to Uriah, Comest thou not from thy irony? Why didst thou not go down to thine house? 11 Then Uriah answered Doeg, The ark and Israel, and Judah dwell in tents, and my lord Ioab and the servants of my lord abide in the open fields. Shall I then go into mine house to eat and drink, and lie with my wife? By thy life, and by the life of thy soul, I will not do this thing. 12 Then Doeg said to Uriah, Tarry yet this day, and tomorrow I will send thee away. So Uriah abode in Jerusalem that day, and the morrow. 13 Then Doeg called him, and he did eat and drink before him, and he made him drunk, and at ewen he went out to lie on his couch with the servants of his lord, but went not down to his house. 14 And on the morrow Doeg wrote a letter to Ioab, and sent it by the hand of Uriah. 15 And he wrote thus in the letter, Put ye Uriah in the forefront of the strength of the battle, and recule ye back from him, that he may be smitten, and die. 16 So when Ioab besieged the city, he assigned Uriah to a place, where he knew that strong men were. 17 And the men of the city came out, and fought with Ioab, and there fell of the people of the Saruans of Doeg, and Uriah the Hittite also died. 18 Then Ioab sent and told Doeg all the things concerning the war. 19 And he charged the messenger, saying, When thou hast made an end of telling all the matters of the war to the king. 20 And if the king's anger arise, so that he say to thee, Wherefore approached ye to the city to fight? Knew ye not that they would hurl from the wall? 21 Who smote Abimelech son of Jerubbesheth? Did not a woman cast a piece of a millstone upon him from the wall, and he died in Thebez? Why went you in the wall? Then say thou, Thy Syrian Uriah the Hittite is also dead. 22 So the messenger went, and came and shewed Doeg all that Ioab had sent him for. 23 And the messenger said unto Doeg, Certainly the men prowled against Versus, and came out to Versus into the field, but we pursued them to the entreing of the gate. 24 But the shooters shot from ye wall against thy Saruans, and some of the king's Saruans be dead, and thy Syrian Uriah the Hittite is also dead. 25 Then Doeg said to the messenger, Thus shalt thou say to Ioab, Let not this thing trouble thee, for the sword doeth one as well as another. Make thy battle more strong against the city and destroy it, and encourage thou him. 26 And when the wife of Uriah heard that her husband Uriah was dead, she mourned for her husband. 27 So when the mourning was past, Doeg sent and took her into his house, and she became his wife, and bare him a son. But ye thing that Doeg had done, displeased the Lord. Chapter 12. 1 Then the Lord sent Nathan to Doeg, who came to him, and said to him, There were 2 men in one city, the one rich, and the other poor. 2 The rich man had exceeding many sheep and oxen, 3 But the poor had none at all, saw one little sheep which he had bought, and nourished VP, and it grew VP with him, and with his children also, and did eat of his own morsels, and drank of his own cup, and slept in his bosom, and was to him as his daughter. For now there came a stranger to the rich man, who refused to take of his own sheep, and of his own oxen to dress for the stranger that was come to him, but took the poor man's sheep, and dressed it for the man that was come to him. 5 Then Doeg was exceeding wroth with the man, and said to Nathan, As the Lord liveth, the man that hath done this thing, shall surely die. 6 And he shall restore the lamb fourfold, because he did this thing, and had no pity thereof. 7 Then Nathan said to Doeg, Thou art the man. Thus saith the Lord God of Israel, I anointed thee king o'er Israel, and delivered thee out of the hand of Saul. 8 And gave thee thy Lord's house, and thy Lord's wives into thy bosom, and gave thee the house of Israel, and of Judah, and would moreover, if that had been too little, ha doen thee such and such things. 9 Wherefore hast thou despised the commandment of the Lord, to do ill in his sight? Thou hast killed Uriah the Hittite with ye sword, and hast taken his wife to be thy wife, and hast slain him with the sword of the children of Ammon. 10 Now therefore the sword shall ne'er depart from thine house, because thou hast despised me, and taken the wife of Uriah the Hittite to be thy wife. 11 Thus saith the Lord, Behold, I will raise Pul against thee out of thine own house, and will take thy wives before thine eyes, and give them to thy neighbor, and he shall lie with thy wives in the sight of the sun. 12 For thou didst it secretly, but I will do this thing before all Israel, and before the sun. 13 Then Doeg said to Nathan, I ha sinned against the Lord. And Nathan said to Doeg, The Lord also hath put away thy sin, thou shalt not die. 14 Howbeit because by this deed thou hast caused the enemies of the Lord to blaspheme, the child that is born to thee shall surely die. 15 So Nathan departed to his house, and the Lord stroked the child that Uriah's wife bare to Doeg, and it was sick. 16 Doeg therefore besought God for the child, and fasted and went in, and lay all night upon the earth. 17 Then the elders of his house arose to come to him, and to cause him to rise from the ground, but he would not, neither did he eat meat with them. 18 So on the 7th day the child died, and the Saruans of Doeg feared to tell him that the child was dead, for they said, Behold, while the child was alive, we spake to him, and he would not hearken to our voice. How then shall we say to him, The child is dead, to vex him more? 19 But when Doeg saw that his Saruantes whispered, Doeg perceived that the child was dead, therefore Doeg said to his Saruants, Is the child dead? And they said, He is dead. 20 Then Doeg arose from the earth, and washed and anointed himself, and changed his apparel, and came into the house of the Lord, and worshipped, and afterward came to his own house, and bade that they should set bread before him, and he did eat. 21 Then said his servants unto him, What thing is this, that thou hast done? Thou didst fast and weep for the child while it was ailing, but when the child was dead, thou didst rise vp, and eat meat. 22 And he said, While the child was yet ailing, I fasted, and wept, for I said, Who can tell whether God will ha mercy on me, that the child may live? 23 But now being dead, wherefore should I now fast? Can I bring him again any more? I shall go to him, but he shall not return to me. 24 And Daud comforted Bathsheba his wife, and went in to her, and lay with her, and she bare a son, and he called his name Salomon, also the Lord lewd him. 25 For the Lord had sent by Nathan the prophet, therefore he called his name Idadiah, because the Lord lewd him. 26 Then Ioab fought against Rabbah of the children of Ammon, and took the city of the kingdom. 27 Therefore Ioab sent messengers to Daud, saying, I ha fought against Rabbah, and ha taken the city of waters. 28 Now therefore gather the rest of the people together, and besiege the city, that thou mayest take it, lest the victory be attributed to me. 29 So Daud gathered all the people together, and went against Rabbah, and besieged it, and took it. 30 And he took their king's crown from his head, which weighed a talent of gold, with precious stones, and it was set on Daud's head, and he brought away the spoil of the city in exceeding great abundance. 31 And he carried away the people that was therein, and put them vendor saws, and vendor iron harrows, and vendor axes of iron, and cast them into the tile kiln. And thus did he with all the cities of the children of Ammon. Then Daud and all the people returned to Jerusalem. Chapter 13 1 Now after this so it was, that Absalom the son of Daud having a fair sister, whose name was Tamar, Amnon the son of Daud lewd her. 2 And Amnon was so sore vexed, that he fell sick for his sister Tamar, for she was a virgin, and it seemed hard to Amnon to do anything to her. 3 But Amnon had a friend called Ionadab, the son of Shimea Daud's brother, and Ionadab was a very subtle man. For who said to him, Why art thou the king's son so lean from day to day? Wilt thou not tell me? Then Amnon answered him, I love Tamar my brother Absalom's sister. 5 And Ionadab said to him, Lie down on thy bed, and make thyself sick, and when thy father shall come to see thee, say to him, I pray thee, let my sister Tamar come, and give me meat, and let her dress meat in my sight, that I may see it, and eat it of her hand. 6 So Amnon lay down, and made himself sick, and when the king came to see him, Amnon said to the king, I pray thee, let Tamar my sister come, and make me a couple of cakes in my sight, that I may receive meat at her hand. 7 Then Daud sent home to Tamar, saying, Go now to thy brother Amnon's house, and dress him meat. 8 So Tamar went to her brother Amnon's house, and he lay down, and she took flour, and kneaded it, and made cakes in his sight, and did bake the cakes. 9 And she took a pan, and poured them out before him, but he would not eat. Then Amnon said, Cause ye Uri man to go out from me, so Uri man went out from him. 10 Then Amnon said to Tamar, Bring the meat into the chamber, that I may eat of thine hand. And Tamar took the cakes which she had made, and brought them into the chamber to Amnon her brother. 11 And when she had set them before him to eat, he took her, and said to her, Come, lie with me, my sister. 12 But she answered him, Nay, my brother, do not force me, for no such thing ought to be done in Israel, commit not this folly. 13 And I, whither shall I cause my shame to go? And thou shalt be as one of the fools in Israel. Now therefore, I pray thee, speak to the king, for he will not deny me to thee. 14 Howbeit he would not hearken to her voice, but being stronger than she, forced her, and lay with her. 15 Then Amnon hated her exceedingly, so that the hatred wherewith he hated her, was greater than the lieu, wherewith he had lewd her, and Amnon said to her, Vp, get thee hence. 16 And she answered him, There is no cause, this Yule, to put me away, is greater than the other that thou didst to me, but he would not hear her. 17 But called his servant that served him, and said, Put this woman now out from me, and lock the door after her. 18 And she had a garment of Dior's colours upon her, for with such garments were the king's daughters that were virgins, apparelled. Then his servant brought her out, and locked the door after her. 19 And Tamar put ashes on her head and rent the garment of Dior's colors which was on her, and laid her hand on her head, and went her way crying. 20 And Absalom her brother said unto her, Hath Amnon thy brother been with thee? Now yet be still, my sister, he is thy brother, let not this thing grieve thine heart. So Tamar remained desolate in her brother Absalom's house. 21 But when King Daud heard all these things, he was very wroth. 22 And Absalom said to his brother Amnon neither good nor bad, for Absalom hated Amnon, because he had forced his sister Tamar. 23 And after the time of 2 years, Absalom had sheepshearers in Baal-hazor, which is beside Ephraim, and Absalom called all the king's sons. 24 And Absalom came to the king and said, Behold now, thy servant hath sheepshearers, I pray thee, that the king with his servants would go with thy servant. 25 But the king answered Absalom, Nay my son, I pray thee, let verses not go all, lest we be chargeable to thee. Yet Absalom lay sore upon him, howbeit he would not go, but thanked him. 26 Then said Absalom, But, I pray thee, shall not my brother Amnon go with verses? And the king answered him, Why should he go with thee? 27 But Absalom was instant upon him, and he sent Amnon with him, and all the king's children. 28 Now had Absalom commanded his servants, saying, Mark now when Amnon's heart is merry with wine, and when I say to you, Smite Amnon, kill him, fear not, for ha not I commanded you? Be bold therefore, and play the men. 29 And the servantes of Absalom did to Amnon, as Absalom had commanded, and all the king's sons arose, and Uri man gave him VP upon his mule, and fled. 30 And while they were in the way, tidings came to Daud, saying, Absalom hath slain all the king's sons, and there is not one of them left. 31 Then the king arose, and tare his garments, and lay on the ground, and all his servants stood by with their clothes rent. 32 And Ionadab the son of Shimea Daud's brother answered and said, Let not my lord suppose that they ha slain all the young men the king's sons, for Amnon only is dead, because Absalom had reported so, since he forced his sister Tamar. 33 Now therefore let not my lord the king take the thing so grievously, to think that all ye king's sons are dead, for Amnon only is dead. 34 Then Absalom fled, and the young man that kept the watch, lifted his eyes, and looked, and behold, there came much people by the way of the hillside behind him. 35 And Ionadab said unto the king, Behold, ye king's sons come, as thy servant said, so it is. 36 And as soon as he had left speaking, behold, the king's sons came, and lifted their voices, and wept, and the king also and all his servants wept exceedingly sore. 37 But Absalom fled away, and went to Talmai the son of Ammihur king of Geshur, and Daud mourned for his son Uri day. 38 So Absalom fled, and went to Geshur, and was there 3 years. 39 And King Daud desired to go forth to Absalom, because he was pacified concerning Amnon, seeing he was dead. Chapter 14 1 Then Ioab the son of Zeruiah perceived that the king's heart was toward Absalom. 2 And Ioab sent to Tekoa, and brought thence a subtle woman, and said unto her, I pray thee, feign thyself to mourn, and now put on mourning apparel, and anoint not thyself with oil, but be as a woman that had now long time mourned for the dead. 3 And come to the king, and speak on this manner to him, for Ioab taught her what she should say. For then the woman of Tekoa spake unto the king, and fell down on her face to the ground, and did obeisance, and said, Help, O king. 5 Then the king said unto her, What aileth thee? And she answered, I am indeed a widow, and mine husband is dead. 6 And thine handmaid had 2 sons, and they 2 strought together in the fielda, and there was none to part them, so the one smote the other, and slew him. 7 And behold, the whole family is risen against thine handmaid, and they said, Deliver him that smote his brother, that we may kill him for the soul of his brother whom he slew, that we may destroy the heir also, so they shall quench my sparkle which is left, and shall not low to mine husband neither name nor posterity upon the earth. 8 And the king said unto the woman, Go to thine house, and I will do a charge for thee. 9 Then the woman of Tekoa said unto the king, My lord, O king, this trespass be on me, and on my father's house, and the king and his throne be guiltless. 10 And the king said, Bring him to me that speaketh against thee, and he shall touch thee no more. 11 Then said she, I pray thee, let the king remember the Lord thy God, that thou wouldest not suffer many reuingers of blood to destroy, lest they slay my son. And he answered, As the Lord liveth, there shall not one hair of thy son fall to the earth. 12 Then the woman said, I pray thee, let thine handmaid speak a word to my lord the king. And he said, Say on. 13 Then the woman said, Wherefore then hast thou thought such a thing against the people of God? Or why doeth the king, as one which is faulty, speak this thing, that he will not bring again is banished? 14 For we must needs die, and we are as water spilt on the ground, which cannot be gathered vp again, neither doeth God spare any person, yet doeth he appoint means, not to cast out from him that is expelled. 15 Now therefore that I am come to speak of this thing to my lord the king, the cause is that the people ha made me afraid, therefore thine handmaid said, Now will I speak to the king, it may be that the king will perform the request of his handmaid. 16 For the king will hear, to delight you were his handmaid out of the hand of the man that would destroy me, and also my son from the inheritance of God. 17 Therefore thine handmaid said, The word of my lord the king shall now be comfortable, for my lord the king is ewen as an angel of God in hearing of good and bad, therefore the Lord thy God be with thee. 18 Then the king answered, and said to the woman, Hide not from me, I pray thee, the thing that I shall ask thee. And the woman said, Let my lord the king now speak. 19 And the king said, Is not the hand of Ioab with thee in all this? Then the woman answered, and said, As thy soul liveth, my lord the king, I will not turn to the right hand nor to the left, from aught that my lord the king hath spoken, for you and thy servant Ioab bade me, and he put all these words in the mouth of thine handmaid. 20 For to the intent that I should change the for me of speech, thy servant Ioab hath done this thing, but my lord is wise according to the wisdom of an angel of God to understand all things that are in the earth. 21 And the king said to Ioab, Behold now, I ha done this thing, go then, and bring the young man Absalom again. 22 And Ioab fell to the ground on his face, and bowed himself, and thanked the king. Then Ioab said, This day thy servant knoweth, that I ha found grace in thy sight, my lord the king, in that the king hath fulfilled the request of his servant. 23 And Ioab arose, and went to Geshur, and brought Absalom to Jerusalem. 24 And the king said, Let him turn to his own house, and not see my face. So Absalom turned to his own house, and saw not the king's face. 25 Now in all Israel there was none to be so much praised for bowtie as Absalom, from the sole of his foot even to the top of his head there was no blemish in him. 26 And when he pulled his head, for at year as endy he pulled it, because it was too hoey for him, therefore he pulled it, he weighed the hair of his head at 200 shekels by the king's weight. 27 And Absalom had 3 sons, and one daughter named Tamar, which was a fair woman to look upon. 28 So Absalom dwelt the space of 2 years in Jerusalem, and saw not the king's face. 29 Therefore Absalom sent for Ioab to send him to the king, but he would not come to him, and when he sent again, he would not come. 30 Therefore he said to his servants, Behold, Ioab hath a field by my place, and hath barley therein, go, and set it on fire, and Absalom's servants set the field on fire. 31 Then Ioab arose, and came to Absalom to his house, and said to him, Wherefore ha thy servants burnt my field with fire? 32 And Absalom answered Ioab, Behold, I sent for thee, saying, Come thou hither, and I will send thee to the king for to say, Wherefore am I come from Geshur? It had been better for me to ha been there still, now therefore let me see the king's face, and if there be any trespass in me, let him kill me. 33 Then Ioab came to the king, and told him, and he called for Absalom, who came to the king, and bowed himself to the ground on his face before the king, and the king kissed Absalom. Chapter 15 1 After this, Absalom prepared him chariots and horses, and 50 men to run before him. 2 And Absalom rose early, and stood hard by the entreing in of the gate, and Uri man that had any matter, and came to the king for iagement, him did Absalom call to him, and said, Of what city art thou? And he answered, Thy servant is of one of the tribes of Israel. 3 Then Absalom said to him, See, thy matters are good and righteous, but there is no man deputed of the king to hear thee. For Absalom said moreover, O that I were made judge in the land, that Uri man which hath any matter of controversy, might come to me, that I might do him justice. 5 And when any man came near to him, and did him obeisance, he put forth his hand, and took him, and kissed him. 6 And on this manner did Absalom to all Israel, that came to the king for judgment, so Absalom stale the hearts of the men of Israel. 7 And after 40 years, Absalom said to the king, I pray thee, let me go to Hebron, and render my vow which I ha vowed to the Lord. 8 For thy servant vowed a vow when I remained at Geshur, in Aram, saying, If the Lord shall bring me again indeed to Jerusalem, I will serve the Lord. 9 And the king said to him, Go in peace. So he arose, and went to Hebron. 10 Then Absalom sent spies throughout all the tribes of Israel, saying, When ye hear the sound of the trumpet, ye shall say, Absalom reigneth in Hebron. 11 And with Absalom went 200 men out of Jerusalem, that were called, and they went in their simplicity, knowing nothing. 12 Also Absalom sent for Ahithophel the Gilonite Doeg's counselor, from his city Gilo, while he offered sacrifices, and the treason was great, for the people increased still with Absalom. 13 Then came a messenger to Doeg, saying, The hearts of the men of Israel are turned after Absalom. 14 Then Doeg said to all his servants that were with him at Jerusalem, VP, and let versus flee, for we shall not escape from Absalom, make speed to depart, lest he come suddenly and take Versus, and bring yield upon Versus, and smite the city with the edge of the sword. 15 And the king's servants said to him, Behold, thy servants are ready to do according to all that my lord the king shall appoint. 16 So the king departed and all his household after him, and the king left 10 concubines to keep the house. 17 And the king went forth and all the people after him, and tarried in a place far off. 18 And all his servants went about him, and all the Cherethites and all the Pelethites and all the Gittites, and 600 men which were come after him from Gath, went before the king. 19 Then said the king to Ittai the Gittite, Wherefore comest thou also with Versus? Return Aud abide with the king, for thou art a stranger. Depart thou therefore to thy place. 20 Thou camest yesterday, and should I cause thee to wander today and go with Versus? I will go whither I can, therefore return thou and carry again thy brethren, mercy and truth be with thee. 21 And Ittai answered the king, and said, As the Lord liveth, and as my lord the king liveth, in what place my lord the king shall be, whether in death or life, and there surely will thy servant be. 22 Then Doeg said to Ittai, Come, and go forward. And Ittai the Gittite went, and all his men, and all the children that were with him. 23 And all the country wept with a loud voice, and all the people went forward, but the king passed Ouer the brook Kidron, and all the people went Ouer toward the way of ye wilderness. 24 And lo, Zadok also was there, and all the Lewites with him, bearing the ark of the covenant of God, and they set down the ark of God, and Abiathar went VP till the people were all come out of the city. 25 Then the king said to Zadok, Carry the ark of God again into the city, if I shall find favor in the eyes of the Lord, he will bring me again, and shew me both it, and the tabernacle thereof. 26 But if he thus say, I ha no delight in thee, behold, here am I, let him do to me as seemeth good in his eyes. 27 The king said again to Zadok the priest, Art not thou a seer? Return into the city in peace, and your 2 sons with you, to wit, Ahimaaz thy son, and Ionathan the son of Abiathar. 28 Behold, I will tarry in the fields of the wilderness, till there come some word from you to be told of me. 29 Zadok therefore and Abiathar carried the ark of God again to Jerusalem, and they tarried there. 30 And Doeg went VP the mount of Olives and wept as he went VP, and had his head covered, and went barefooted, and all the people that was with him, had Uri man his head covered, and as they went VP, they wept. 31 Then one told a Doeg, saying, Ahithophel is one of them that ha conspired with Absalom, and Doeg said, O Lord, I pray thee, turn the counsel of Ahithophel into foolishness. 32 Then Doeg came to the top of the mount where he worshipped God, and behold, Hushai the Archite came against him with his coat torn, and howling earth upon his head. 33 To whom Doeg said, If thou go with me, thou shalt be a burthen to me. 34 But if thou return to the city, and say to Absalom, I will be thy servant, O king, as I ha been in time past thy father's servant, so will I now be thy servant, then thou mayest bring me the counsel of Ahithophel to naught. 35 And hast thou not there with thee Zadok and Abiathar the priests? Therefore whatsoever thou shalt hear out of the king's house, thou shalt shew to Zadok and Abiathar the priests. 36 Behold, there are with them their 2 sons, Ahimaaz Zadok's son, and Ionathan Abiathar's son, by them also shall ye send me everything that ye can hear. 37 So Hushai Doeg's friend went into the city, and Absalom came into Jerusalem. Chapter 16. When Doeg was a little past the top of the hill, behold, Ziba the Sereunt of Mephibosheth met him with a couple of asses saddled, and upon them 200 cakes of bread, and 100 bunches of raisins, and 100 of dried figs, and a bottle of wine. 2 And the king said to Ziba, What meanest thou by these? And Ziba said, They be asses for the king's household to ride on, and bread and dried figs for the young men to eat, and wine, that the faint may drink in the wilderness. 3 And the king said, But where is thy master's son? Then Ziba answered the king, Behold, he remaineth in Jerusalem, for he said, This day shall the house of Israel restore me the kingdom of my father. For then said the king to Ziba, Behold, thine are all that pertained to Mephibosheth. And Ziba said, I beseech thee, let me find grace in thy sight, my lord, O king. 5 And when King Doeg came to Bahurim, behold, thence came out a man of the family of the house of Saul, named Shimei the son of Gera, and he came out, and cursed. 6 And he cast stones at Doeg, and at all the servants of King Doeg, and all the people, and all the men of war were on his right hand, and on his left. 7 And thus said Shimei when he cursed, Come forth, thou murderer, and wicked man. 8 The Lord hath brought upon thee all the blood of the house of Saul, in whose stead thou hast reigned, and the Lord hath delivered thy kingdom into the hand of Absalom thy son, and behold, thou art taken in thy wickedness, because thou art a murderer. 9 Then said Abishai the son of Zeruiah to the king, Why doeth this dead dog curse my lord the king? Let me go, I pray thee, and take away his head. 10 But the king said, What ha I to do with you, ye sons of Zeruiah? For he curseth Eue because the Lord hath bidden him curse Doeg, who dare then say, Wherefore hast thou done so? 11 And Doeg said to Abishai, and to all his servants, Behold, my son which came out of mine own bowels, seeketh my life, then how much more now may this son of Iamani? Suffer him to curse, for the Lord hath bidden him. 12 It may be that the Lord will look on mine affliction, and do me good for his cursing this day. 13 And as Doeg and his men went by the way, Shimei went by the side of the mountain Ouer against him, and cursed as he went, and threw stones against him, and cast dust. 14 Then came the king and all the people that were with him weary, and refreshed themselves there. 15 And Absalom, and all the people, the men of Israel, came to Jerusalem, and Ahithophel with him. 16 And when Hushai the Archite Doeg's friend was come to Absalom, Hushai said to Absalom, God saw the king, God saw the king. 17 Then Absalom said to Hushai, Is this thy kindings to thy friend? Why wentest thou not with thy friend? 18 Hushai then answered to Absalom, Nay, but whom the Lord, and this people, and all the men of Israel choose, his will I be, and with him will I dwell. 19 And moreover to whom shall I do service? Not to his son? As I served before thy father, so will I before thee. 20 Then spake Absalom to Ahithophel, Do counsel what we shall do. 21 And Ahithophel said to Absalom, Go in to thy father's concubines, which he hath left to keep the house, and when all Israel shall hear, that thou art abhorred of thy father, the hands of all that are with thee, shall be strong. 22 So they spread Absalom a tent upon the top of the house, and Absalom went in to his father's concubines in the sight of all Israel. 23 And the counsel of Ahithophel which he counselled in those days, was like as one had asked counsel at the oracle of God, so was all the counsel of Ahithophel both with Doeg and with Absalom. Chapter 17. One more hour Ahithophel said to Absalom, Let me choose out now 12,000 men, and I will VP and follow after Doeg this night, 2 And I will come upon him, for he is weary, and weak-handed, so I will fear him, and all the people that are with him, shall flee, and I will smite the king onely, 3 And I will bring again all the people to thee, and when all shall return, the man whom thou seekest being slain, all the people shall be in peace. 4 And the saying pleased Absalom well, and all the elders of Israel. 5 Then said Absalom, Call now Hushai the Archite also, and let verses hear likewise what he saith. 6 So when Hushai came to Absalom, Absalom spake to him, saying, Ahithophel hath spoken thus, shall we go after his saying, or no? Tell thou. 7 Hushai then answered to Absalom, The counsel that Ahithophel hath joined is not good at this time. 8 Said Hushai, Thou knowest thy father, and his men, that they be strong men, and are chafed in mind as a bear robbed of her whelps in the fielda. Also thy father is a valiant warrior, and will not lodge with the people. 9 Behold, he is hid now in some caw, or in some place, and though some of them be overthrown at the first, yet the people shall hear, and say, The people that follow Absalom, be overthrown. 10 Then he also that is valiant whose heart is as the heart of a lion, shall shrink and faint, for all Israel knoweth, that thy father is valiant, and they which be with him, stout men. 11 Therefore my counsel is, that all Israel be gathered unto thee, from Dan Uan to Beersheba as the sand of the sea in number, and that thou go to Bethel in thine own person. 12 So shall we come upon him in some place, where we shall find him, and we will bond him as the dew falleth on the ground, and of all the men that are with him, we will not low him one. 13 Moreover if he be gotten into a city, then shall all the men of Israel bring ropes to that city, and we will draw it into the Reur, until there be not one small stone found there. 14 Then Absalom and all the men of Israel said, The counsel of Hushai the Archite is better than the counsel of Ahithophel, for the Lord had determined to destroy the good counsel of Ahithophel, that the Lord might bring yield upon Absalom. 15 Then said Hushai to Zadok and to Abiathar the priests, Of this and that manner did Ahithophel and the elders of Israel counsel Absalom, and thus ha I counselled. 16 Now therefore send quickly, and Shaddad, saying, Tarry not this night in the fields of the wilderness, but rather get thee ear, lest the king be devoured and all the people that are with him. 17 Now Ionathan and Ahimaaz abode by Enrogel, for they might not be seen to come into the city, and a maid went, and told of them, and they went and shewed King Daud. 18 Nevertheless a young man saw them, and told it to Absalom. Therefore they both departed quickly, and came to a man's house in Bahurim, who had a well in his court, into the which they went down. 19 And the wife took and spread a cooring ear the well's mouth, and spread ground corn thereon, that the thing should not be known. 20 And when Absalom's servants came to the wife into the house, they said, Where is Ahimaaz and Ionathan? And the woman answered them, They be gone ear the brook of water. And when they had sought them, and could not find them, they returned to Jerusalem. 21 And as soon as they were departed, the other came out of the well, and went and told a King Daud, and said to him, VP, and get you quickly ear the water, for such counsel hath Ahithophel joined against you. 22 Then Daud arose, and all the people that were with him, and they went ear Iordan till the dawning of the day, so that there lacked not one of them, that was not come ear Iordan. 23 Now when Ahithophel saw that his counsel was not followed, he saddled his assy, and arose, and he went home to his city, and put his household in order, and hanged himself, and died, and was buried in his father's Grauah. 24 Then Daud came to Mahanaim. And Absalom passed ear Iordan, he, and all the men of Israel with him. 25 And Absalom made Amasa captain of the host in the stead of Ioab. Which Amasa was a man's son named Ithra an Israelite, that went in to Abigail the daughter of Nahash, sister to Zeruiah Ioab's mother. 26 So Israel and Absalom pitched in the land of Gilead. 27 And when Daud was come to Mahanaim, Shobi the son of Nahash out of Rabbah of the children of Ammon, and Machir the son of Amiel out of Lodabar, and Barzillai the Gileadite out of Rogel 28 brought beds, and basins, and earthen vessels, and wheat, and barley, and flour, and parched corn, and beans, and lentils, and parched corn. 29 And they brought honey, and butter, and sheep, and cheese of kine for Daud and for the people that were with him, to eat, for they said, The people is hungry, and weary, and thirsty in the wilderness. Chapter 18 1 Then Daud numbered the people that were with him, and set ear them captains of thousands and captains of hundredths. 2 And Daud sent forth the third part of the people vendor the hand of Ioab, and the third part vendor the hand of Abishai Ioab's brother the son of Zeruiah, and the other third part vendor the hand of Ittai the Gittite. And the king said to the people, I will go with you myself also. 3 But the people answered, Thou shalt not go forth, for if we flee away, they will not regard Versus, neither will they pass for Versus, though half of Versus were slain, but thou art now worth 10,000 of Versus, therefore now it is better that thou succor Versus out of the city. For then the king said unto them, What seemeth you best, that I will do? So the king stood by the gate side, and all the people came out by hundredths and by thousands. 5 And the king commanded Ioab and Abishai, and Ittai, saying, Entreat the young man Absalom gently for my sake. And all the people heard Whe the king gave all the captain's charge concerning Absalom. 6 So the people went out into the field to meet Israel, and the battle was in the wood of Ephraim, 7 Where the people of Israel were slain before the Saruents of Doeg, so there was a great slaughter that day, of 20,000. 8 For the battle was scattered all the country, and the wood devoured much more people that day, than did the sword. 9 Now Absalom met the Saruents of Doeg, and Absalom rode upon a mule, and the mule came bender a great thick oak, and his head caught hold of the oak, and he was taken between the hoen and the earth, and the mule that was bender him went away. 10 And one that saw it, told Ioab, saying, Behold, I saw Absalom hanged in an oak. 11 Then Ioab said to the man that told him, And hast thou indeed seen? Why then didst thou not there smite him to the ground, and I would ha given thee 10 shekels of silver, and a girdle? 12 Then the man said to Ioab, Though I should receive you 1,000 shekels of silver in mine hand, yet would I not lay mine hand upon the king's son, for in our hearing the king charged thee, and Abishai, and Ittai, saying, Beware, lest any two slay the young man Absalom. 13 If I had done it, it had been the danger of my life, for nothing can be hid from the king, yea, thou thyself wouldest ha been against me. 14 Then said Ioab, I will not thus tarry with thee. And he took 3 darts in his hand, and thrust them through Absalom, while he was yet aliu in the middes of the oak. 15 And 10 Saruents that bare Ioab's armor, compassed about and smote Absalom, and slew him. 16 Then Ioab blew the trumpet, and the people returned from pursuing after Israel, for Ioab held back the people. 17 And they took Absalom, and cast him into a great pit in the wood, and laid a mighty great heap of stones upon him, and all Israel fled one to his tent. 18 Now Absalom in his lifetime had taken and reared him a pillar, which is in the king's dale, for he said, I ha no son to keep my name in remembrance. And he called the pillar after his own name, and it is called to this day, Absalom's place. 19 Then said Ahimaaz the son of Zadok, I pray thee, let me run, and bear the king tidings that the Lord hath delivered him out of the hand of his enemies. 20 And Ioab said to him, Thou shalt not be the messenger today, but thou shalt bear tidings another time, but today thou shalt bear none, for the king's son is dead. 21 Then said Ioab to Cushi, Go, tell the king, what thou hast seen. And Cushi bowed himself to Ioab and ran. 22 Then said Ahimaaz the son of Zadok again to Ioab, What, I pray thee, if I also run after Cushi? And Ioab said, Wherefore now wilt thou run, my son, seeing that thou hast no tidings to bring? 23 Yet what if I run? Then he said to him, Run. So Ahimaaz ran by the way of the plain, and over went Cushi. 24 Now Doeg sate between the 2 gates. And the watchman went to the top of the gate upon the wall, and lifted his eyes, and saw, and behold, a man came running alone. 25 And the watchman cried, and told ye king. And the king said, If he be alone, he bringeth tidings. And he came apace, and drew near. 26 And the watchman saw another man running, and the watchman called to the porter, and said, Behold, another man runneth alone. And the king said, He also bringeth tidings. 27 And the watchman said, Methink the running of the foremost is like the running of Ahimaaz the son of Zadok. Then the king said, He is a good man, and cometh with good tidings. 28 And Ahimaaz called, and said to the king, Peace be with thee, and he fell down to the earth upon his face before the king, and said, Blessed be the Lord thy God, who hath shut the men that lift their hands against my lord the king. 29 And the king said, Is the young man Absalom safe? And Ahimaaz answered, When Ioab sent the king's servant, and me thy servant, I saw a great tumult, but I knew not what. 30 And the king said to him, Turn aside, and stand here. So he turned aside and stood still. 31 And behold, Cushi came, and Cushi said, Tidings, my lord the king. For the Lord hath delivered thee this day out of the hand of all that rose against thee. 32 Then the king said to Cushi, Is the young man Absalom safe? And Cushi answered, The enemies of my lord the king, and all that rise against thee to do thee hurt, be as that young man is. 33 And the king was mud, and went vp to the chamber Ouer the gate, and wept, and as he went, thus he said, O my son Absalom, my son Absalom, would God I had died for thee, O Absalom, my son, my son. Chapter 19 1 And it was told to Ioab, Behold, the king weepeth and mourneth for Absalom. 2 Therefore the victory of that day was turned into mourning to all the people, for the people heard say that day, The king sorroweth for his son. 3 And the people went that day into the city secretly, as people confounded hide themselves when they flee in battle. For so the king hid his face, and the king cried with a loud voice, My son Absalom, Absalom my son, my son. 5 Then Ioab came into the house to the king, and said, Thou hast shamed this day the faces of all thy servants, which this day ha sold thy life and the loos of thy sons, and of thy daughters, and the loos of thy wives, and the loos of thy concubines. 6 In that thou luest thine enemies, and hatest thy friends, for thou hast declared this day, that thou regardest neither thy princes nor servants. Therefore this day I pursue you, that if Absalom had lewd, and we all had died this day, that then it would ha pleased thee well. 7 Now therefore VP, come out, and speak comfortably to thy servants, for I swear by the Lord, except thou come out, there will not tarry one man with thee this night, and that will be worse to thee, than all the yule that fell on thee from thy youth hitherto. 8 Then the king arose, and sate in the gate, and they told unto all the people, saying, Behold, the king doeth sit in the gate, and all the people came before the king, for Israel had fled Uri man to his tent. 9 Then all the people were at strife throughout all the tribes of Israel, saying, The king sold us out of the hand of our enemies, and he delivered us out of the hand of the Philistines, and now he is fled out of the land for Absalom. 10 And Absalom, whom we anointed Ouer versus, is dead in battle, therefore why are ye so slow to bring the king again? 11 But King Daud sent to Zadok and to Abiathar the priests, saying, Speak to the elders of Judah, and say, Why are ye behind to bring the king again to his house? For the saying of all Israel is come to the king, you and to his house. 12 Ye are my brethren, my bones and my flesh are ye, wherefore then are ye the last that bring the king again? 13 Also say ye to Amasa, Art thou not my bone and my flesh? God do so to me and more also, if thou be not captain of the host to me, for you are in the room of Ioab. 14 So he bowed the hearts of all the men of Judah, as of one man. Therefore they sent to the king, saying, Return thou with all thy servants. 15 So the king returned, and came to Iordan. And Judah came to Gilgal, for to go to meet the king, and to conduct him Ouer. 16 And Shimei the son of Gera, ye son of Iamani, which was of Bahurim, hasted and came down with the men of Judah to meet King Daud, 17 And 1,000 men of Benjamin with him, and Ziba the Seruant of the house of Saul, and his 15 sons and 20 servants with him, and they went Ouer Iordan before ye king. 18 And there went Ouer a boat to carry Ouer the king's household, and to do him pleasure. Then Shimei the son of Gera fell before the king, when he was come Ouer Iordan, 19 And said to the king, Let not my lord impute wickedness to me, nor remember ye thing that thy servant did wickedly when my lord the king departed out of Jerusalem, that the king should take it to his heart. 20 For thy servant doeth know, that I ha done amiss, therefore behold, I am the first this day of all the house of Isaph, that am come to go down to meet my lord the king. 21 But Abishai the son of Zeruiah answered, and said, Shall not Shimei die for this, because he cursed the Lord's anointed? 22 And Daud said, What ha I to do with you, ye sons of Zeruiah, that this day ye should be adversaries to me? Shall there any man die this day in Israel? For do not I know that I am this day king Ouer Israel? 23 Therefore the king said to Shimei, Thou shalt not die, and the king sware to him. 24 And Mephibosheth the son of Saul came down to meet the king, and had neither washed his feet, nor dressed his beard, nor washed his clothes from the time the king departed, till he returned in peace. 25 And when he was come to Jerusalem, and met the The king said to him, Wherefore wentest not thou with me, Mephibosheth? 26 And he answered, My lord the king, my servant deceived me, for thy servant said, I would ha mine assy saddled to ride thereon, for to go with the king, because thy servant is lame. 27 And he hath accused thy servant to my lord the king, but my lord the king is as an angel of God, do therefore thy pleasure. 28 For all my father's house were but dead men before my lord the king, yet didst thou set thy servant among them that did eat at thine own table. What right therefore ha I yet to cry any more to the king? 29 And the king said to him, Why speakest thou any more of thy matters? I ha said, Thou, and Ziba do I the landis. 30 And Mephibosheth said to the king, Yea, let him take all, seeing my lord the king is come home in peace. 31 Then Barzillai the Gileadite came down from Rogelim, and went Iordan with the king, to conduct him Iordan. 32 Now Barzillai was a very aged man, and 80 and he had prouded the king of sustenance, while he lay at Mahanaim, for he was a man of very great substance. 33 And the king said to Barzillai, Come with me, and I will feed thee with me in Jerusalem. 34 And Barzillai said to the king, How long ha I to Leoa, that I should go vp with the king to Jerusalem? 35 I am this day 80, and can I discern between good or ill? Hath thy servant any taste in that I eat or in that I drink? Can I hear any more the voice of singing men and women? Wherefore then should thy servant be any more a burthen to my lord the king? 36 Thy servant will go a little way Iordan with the king, and why will the king recompense me with such a reward? 37 I pray thee, let thy servant turn back again, that I may die in mine own city, and be buried in the grave of my father and of my mother. But behold thy servant Chimham, let him go with my lord the king, and do to him what shall please thee. 38 And the king answered, Chimham shall go with me, and I will do to him that thou shalt be content with, and whatsoever thou shalt require of me, that will I do for thee. 39 So all the people went Iordan, and the king passed and the king kissed Barzillai, and blessed him, and he returned to his own place. 40 Then the king went to Gilgal, and Chimham went with him, and all the people of Judah conducted the king, and also half ye people of Israel. 41 And behold, all the men of Israel came to the king, and said to the king, Why ha our brethren the men of Judah stolen thee away, and ha brought the king and his household, and all Daud's men with him Iordan? 42 And all the men of Judah answered the men of Israel, Because the king is near of kin to Versus, and wherefore now be ye angry for this matter? Ha we eaten of the king's cost, or ha we taken any bribes? 43 And the men of Israel answered the men of Judah, and said, We ha 10 parties in the king, and ha also more right to Daud than ye. Why then did ye despise Versus, that our Adish should not be first had in restoring our king? And the words of the men of Judah were fiercer than the words of the men of Israel. Chapter 20 Then there was come thither a wicked man, named Sheba the son of Bichri, a man of Iamani, and he blew the trumpet, and said, We ha no part in Daud, neither ha we inheritance in the son of Ishai. Uri man to his tents, O Israel. 2 So Uri man of Israel went from Daud and followed Sheba the son of Bichri, but the men of Judah claw fast to their king, from Iordan to Jerusalem. 3 When Daud then came to his house to Jerusalem, the king took the 10 women his concubines, that he had left behind him to keep the house, and put them in ward, and fed them, but lay no more with them, but they were enclosed to the day of their death, lewing in widowhood. For then said the king to Amasa, Assemble me the men of Judah within 3 days, and be thou here present. 5 So Amasa went to assemble Judah, but he tarried longer than the time which he had appointed him. 6 Then Daud said to Abishai, Now shall Sheba the son of Bichri do Versus more harm than did Absalom. Take thou therefore thy lord's servants and follow after him, lest he get him walled cities, and escape. Verses 7 And there went out after him Iobab's men, and the Cherethites and the Pelethites, and all the mighty men, and they departed out of Jerusalem, to follow after Sheba the son of Bichri. 8 When they were at the great stone, which is in Gibeon, Amasa went before them, and Iobab's garment, that he had put on, was girded to him, and upon it was a sword girded, which hanged on his loins in the sheath, and as he went, it ceased to fall out. 9 And Iobab said to Amasa, Art thou in health, my brother? And Iobab took Amasa by the beard with the right hand to kiss him. 10 But Amasa took no heed to the sword that was in Ioab's hand, for therewith he smote him in the 5th rib, and shed out his bowels to the ground, and smote him not the 2nd time, so he died. Then Ioab and Abishai his brother followed after Sheba the son of Bichri. 11 And one of Ioab's men stood by him, and said, He that foyereth Ioab, and he that is of Doeg's part, let him go after Ioab. 12 And Amasa wallowed in blood in the midst of the way, and when the man saw that all the people stood still, he removed Amasa out of the way into the field, and cast a cloth upon him, because he saw that Uri one that came by him, stood still. 13 When he was removed out of the way, Uri man went after Ioab, to follow after Sheba the son of Bichri. 14 And he went through all the tribes of Israel to Abel, and Bethmaachah, and all places of Biram, and they gathered together, and went also after him. 15 So they came, and besieged him in Abel, near to Bethmaachah, and they cast a mount against the city, and the people thereof stood on the rampart, and all the people that was with Ioab, destroyed and cast down the wall. 16 Then cried a wise woman out of the city, Hear, hear, I pray you, say to Ioab, Come thou hither, that I may speak with thee. 17 And when he came near to her, the woman said, Art thou Ioab? And he answered, Yea. And she said to him, Hear the words of thine handmaid. And he answered, I do hear. 18 Then she spake thus, they spake in the old time, saying, They should ask of Abel. And so ha they continued. 19 I am one of them, that are peaceable and faithful in Israel, and thou goest about to destroy a city, and a mother in Israel, why wilt thou devour the inheritance of the Lord? 20 And Ioab answered, and said, God forbid it me, that I should devour, or destroy it. 21 The matter is not so, but a man of Mount Ephraim, Sheba ye son of Bichri by name, hath lifted his head against ye king, you and against Doeg, Delilah versus him onely, and I will depart from the city. And the woman said to Ioab, Behold, his head shall be thrown to the Our the wall. 22 Then the woman went to all the people with her wisdom, and they cut off the head of Sheba the son of Bichri, and cast it to Ioab, that he blew the trumpet, and they retired from the city, Uri man to his tent, and Ioab returned to Jerusalem to the king. 23 Then Ioab was Our all the host of Israel, and Benaiah the son of Jehoiada Our the Cherethites and Our the Pelethites, 24 And Aduram Our the tribute, and Ioshaphat the son of Ahalad the recorder, 25 And Shea was scribe, and Zadok and Abiathar the priests, 26 And also Ira the Irite was chief about Doeg. Chapter 21 1 Then there was a famine in the days of Doeg, 3 years together, and Doeg asked counsel of the Lord, and the Lord answered, It is for Saul, and for his bloody house, because he slew the Gibeonites. 2 Then ye king called the Gibeonites and said to them, Now the Gibeonites were not of the children of Israel, but a remnant of the Amorites, to whom ye children of Israel had sworn, but Saul sought to slay them for his zeal toward the children of Israel and Judah. 3 And Doeg said to the Gibeonites, What shall I do for you, and wherewith shall I make the atonement, that ye may bless the inheritance of the Lord? For the Gibeonites then answered him, We will ha no silver nor gold of Saul nor of his house, neither for verses shalt thou kill any man in Israel. And he said, What ye shall say, that will I do for you. 5 Then they answered the king, The man that consumed Versus and that imagined ill against Versus, so that we are destroyed from remaining in any coast of Israel. 6 Let Suan men of his sons be delivered to Versus, and we will hang them vp to the Lord in Gibeah of Saul, the Lord's chosen. And the king said, I will do them. 7 But the king had compassion on Mephibosheth the son of Ionathan the son of Saul, because of the Lord's oath that was between them, and between Doeg and Ionathan the son of Saul. 8 But the king took the 2 sons of Rizpah the daughter of Aiah, whom she bare to Saul, and Armani and Mephibosheth, and the few sons of Michal, the daughter of Saul, whom she bare to Adriel the son of Barzillai the Meholathite. 9 And he delivered them to the hands of the Gibeonites, which hanged them in the mountain before the Lord, so they died all soon together, and they were slain in the time of Haruist, in the first days, and in the beginning of barley Haruist. 10 Then Rizpah the daughter of Aiah took sackcloth and hanged it vp for her upon the rock, from the beginning of Haruist, until water dropped upon them from the Hoan, and suffered neither the birds of the air to light on the by day, nor beasts of the field by night. 11 And it was told Doeg, what Rizpah the daughter of Aiah concubine of Saul had done. 12 And Doeg went and took the bones of Saul and the bones of Ionadab his son from the citizens of Iabesh Gilead, which had stolen them from the street of Bethshan, where the Philistines had hanged them, when the Philistines had slain Saul in Gilboa. 13 So he brought thence the bones of Saul and the bones of Ionadab his son, and they gathered the bones of them that were hanged. 14 And the bones of Saul and of Ionadab his son buried they in the Keturah of Beniamin in Zelah, in the Grauah of Kish his father, and when they had performed all that the king had commanded, God was then appeased with the land. 15 Again the Philistines had war with Israel, and Doeg went down, and his Saracens with him, and they fought against the Philistines, and Doeg fainted. 16 Then Ishbi-benob which was of the sons of Haripha, the head of whose spear weighed 300 shekels of brass, and he being girded with a new sword, thought to ha slain Doeg. 17 But Abishai the son of Zeruiah succored him, and smote the Philistine, and killed him. Then Doeg's men swerved to him, saying, Thou shalt go no more out with verses to Bethel, lest thou quench the light of Israel. 18 And after this also there was a battle with the Philistines at Gob, then Sibbecai the Hushathite slew Saph, which was one of ye sons of Haripha. 19 And there was yet another battle in Gob with the Philistines, where Elhanah the son of Iari-Origim, a Bethlehemite slew Goliath the Gittite, the staff of whose spear was like a weaver's beam. 20 Afterward there was also a battle in Gath, where was a man of a great stature, and had on Uri hand 6 fingers, and on Uri foot 6 toes, 24 in number, who was also the son of Haripha. 21 And when he reviled Israel, Ionadab the son of Shema the brother of Doeg slew him. 22 These 4 were born to Haripha in Gath, and died by the hand of Doeg and by the hands of his Saracens. Chapter 22 1 And Doeg spake the words of this song to the Lord, what time the Lord had delivered him out of the hands of all his enemies, and out of the hand of Saul. 2 And he said, The Lord is my rock and my fortress, and he that delivereth me. 3 God is my strength, in him will I trust, my shield, and the horn of my salvation, my high tower and my refuge, my Savior, thou hast saved me from violence. For I will call on the Lord, who is worthy to be praised, so shall I be safe from mine enemies. 5 For the pangs of death ha compassed me, the floods of ungodliness ha made me afraid. 6 The sorrows of the Grauah compassed me about, the snares of death o'ertook me. 7 But in my tribulation did I call upon the Lord, and cry to my God, and he did hear my voice out of his temple, and my cry did enter into his ears. 8 Then the earth trembled and quaked, the foundations of the Hoans mud and shook, because he was angry. 9 Smoke went out at his nostrils, and consuming fire out of his mouth, coals were kindled thereat. 10 He bowed the Hoans also, and came down, and darkness was bender his feet. 11 And he rode upon cherub and did fly, and he was seen upon the winges of the wind. 12 And he made darkness a tabernacle round about him, and the gatherings of waters, and the clouds of the air. 13 At the brightness of his presence the coals of fire were kindled. 14 The Lord thundered from Hoan, and the Most High gave his voice. 15 He shot arrows also, and scattered them, to wit, lightning, and destroyed them. 16 The channels also of the sea appeared, and the foundations of the world were discoured by the rebuking of the Lord, and at the blast of the breath of his nostrils. 17 He sent from Abu, and took me, he drew me out of many waters. 18 He delivered me from my strong enemy, and from them that hated me, for they were too strong for me. 19 They prevented me in the day of my calamity, but the Lord was my stay. 20 And brought me forth into a large place, he delivered me, because he formed me. 21 The Lord rewarded me according to my righteousness, according to the pureness of mine hands he recompensed me. 22 For I kept the ways of the Lord, and did not wickedly against my God. 23 For all his laws were before me, and his statutes, I did not depart therefrom. 24 I was bright also toward him, and ha kept me from my wickedness. 25 Therefore the Lord did reward me according to my righteousness, according to my pureness before his eyes. 26 With the godly thou wilt shew thyself godly, with the bright man thou wilt shew thyself bright. 27 With the pure thou wilt shew thyself pure, and with the froward thou wilt shew thyself froward. 28 Thus thou wilt saw the poor people, but thine eyes are upon the haughty to humble them. 29 Surely thou art my light, O Lord, and the Lord will lighten my darkens. 30 For by thee ha I broken through an host, and by my God ha I leaped o a wall. 31 The way of God is corrupt, the word of the Lord is tried in the fire, he is a shield to all that trust in him. 32 For who is God besides the Lord? And who is mighty, sa our God? 33 God is my strength in Batel, and mocketh my wave bright. 34 He mocketh my feet like hin's feet, and hath set me upon mine high places. 35 He teacheth mine hands to fight, so that a bow of brass is broken with mine arms. 36 Thou hast also joined me the shield of thy salutation, and thy loving kindness hath caused me to increase. 37 Thou hast enlarged my steps under me, and mine heels ha not slid. 38 I ha pursued mine enemies and destroyed them, and ha not turned again till I had consumed them. 39 Yea, I ha consumed them and thrust them through, and they shall not arise, but shall fall under my feet. 40 For thou hast girded me with power to battle, and them that arose against me, hast thou subdued vendor me. 41 And thou hast joined me the necks of mine enemies, that I might destroy them that hate me. 42 They looked about, but there was none to saw them, unto the Lord, but he answered them not. 43 Then did I beat them as small as the dust of the earth, I did tread them flat as the clay of the street, and did spread them abroad. 44 Thou hast also delivered me from the contentions of my people, thou hast preserved me to be the head o your nations, the people which I knew not, do serve me. 45 Strangers shall be in subjection to me, as soon as they hear, they shall obey me. 46 Strangers shall shrink away, and fear in their privy chambers. 47 Let the Lord leoa, and blessed be my strength, and God, you in the force of my salutation be exalted. 48 It is God that giveth me power to revenge me, and subdue the people vendor me. 49 And rescueth me from mine enemies, thou also hast lift me vp from them that rose against me, thou hast delivered me from the cruel man. 50 Therefore I will praise thee, O Lord among the nations, and will sing to thy name. 51 He is the tower of salutation for his king, and sheweth mercy to his anointed, and to Daud, and to his seed for ever. Chapter 23 1 These also be the last words of Daud the son of Ishai saith, and the man who was set vp on high, the anointed of the God of Iacob, and the sweet singer of Israel saith, To the Spirit of the Lord spake by me, and his word was in my tongue. 3 The God of Israel spake to me, Ye strength of Israel said, Thou shalt bear rule o your men, being highest, and ruling in the fear of God. For and as the morning light when the sun riseth, the morning, I say, without clouds, so shall mine house be, and not as the grass of the earth is by the bright rain. 5 For so shall not mine house be with God, for he hath made with me an everlasting covenant, perfect in all points, and sure, therefore all mine health and whole desire is, that he will not make it grow so. 6 But the wicked shall be one as thorns thrust away, because they cannot be taken with hands. 7 But the man that shall touch them must be defenced with iron, or with the shaft of a spear, and they shall be burnt with fire in the same place. 8 These be the names of the mighty men whom Daud had. He that sate in the seat of wisdom, being chief of the princes, was Adino of Esni, he slew 800 at one time. 9 And after him was Eleazar the son of Dodo, the son of Ahohi, one of the three worthies with Daud, when they defied the Philistines gathered there to Batel, when the men of Israel were gone vp. 10 He arose and smote the Philistines till his hand was weary, and his hand clove to the sword, and the Lord gave great victory the same day, and the people returned after him only to spoil. 11 After him was Shammah the son of Age the Hararite, for the Philistines assembled at a town, where was a piece of a field full of lentils, and the people fled from the Philistines. 12 But he stood in the midst of the field, and defended it, and slew the Philistines, so the Lord gave great victory. 13 Afterward 3 of the 30 captains went down, and came to Daud in the harvest time to the cave of Adullam, and the host of the Philistines pitched in the valley of Rephaim. 14 And Daud was then in an hold, and the garrison of ye Philistines was then in Bethlehem. 15 And Daud longed, and said, Oh, that one would give me to drink of the water of the well of Bethlehem, which is by the gate. 16 The three mighty brake into the host of the Philistines, and drew water out of the well of Bethlehem that was by the gate, and took and brought it to Daud, who would not drink thereof, but poured it for an offering to ye Lord. 17 And said, O Lord, be it far from me, that I should do this. Is not this the blood of the men that went in a party of their loose? Therefore he would not drink it. These things did these three mighty men. 18 And Abishai the brother of Ioab, the son of Zeruiah, was chief among the three, and he lifted his spear against 300, and slew them, and he had the name among the three. 19 For he was most excellent of the three, and was their captain, but he attained not to the first three. 20 And Benaiah the son of Jehoiada the son of a valiant man, which had done many acts, and was of Kabzeel, slew 2 strong men of Moab. He went down also, and slew a lion in the midst of a pit in the time of snow. 21 And he slew an Egyptian, a man of great stature, and the Egyptian had a spear in his hand, but he went down to him with a staff, and plucked the spear out of the Egyptian's hand, and slew him with his own spear. 22 These things did Benaiah the son of Jehoiada, and had the name among the three worthies. 23 He was honorable among 30, but he attained not to the first three, and God made him of his counsel. 24 Asahel the brother of Ioab was one of the 30, Elhanan the son of Dodo of Bethlehem. 25 Shammah the Harodite, Elikah ye Harodite. 26 Helaz the Paltite, Ira the son of Ikesh the Tekoite. 27 Abiezer the Anethathite, Mebani the Huzathite. 28 Zalman an Ahohite, Maharai the Netophathite. 29 Helab the son of Baanah a Netophathite, Ittai the son of Ribai of Gibeah of the children of Benjamin. 30 Benaiah the Pirathonite, Hiddai of the Reuer of Gash. 31 Abialban the Arbathite, Asmaweth the Baramite. 32 Elihaba the Shalbanite, of the sons of Iashan, Ionathan. 33 Shammah the Hararite, Ahiam the son of Sharar the Hamrite. 34 Eliphalet the son of Ahasbai the son of Machathi, Eliam the son of Ahithophel the Gilonite. 35 Hezrai the Carmelite, Parai the Arbite. 36 Agal the son of Nathan of Zobah, Bani the Gadite. 37 Zelek the Ammonite, Naharai the Bechothite, the armor-bearer of Ioab the son of Zeruiah. 38 Ira the Ithrite, Gareb the Ithrite. 39 Uriah the Hittite. 30 And Suan in all. Chapter 24. 1 And the wrath of the Lord was again kindled against Israel, and he moved God against them, in that he said, Go, number Israel and Judah. 2 For the king said to Ioab the captain of the host, which was with him, Go speedily now through all the tribes of Israel, from Dan Uan to Beersheba, and number ye the people, that I may know the number of the people. 3 And Ioab said to the king, The Lord thy God increase the people 100-fold more than they be, and that the eyes of my lord the king may see it. But why doeth my lord the king desire this thing? For notwithstanding the king's ward prowled against Ioab and against the captains of the host, therefore Ioab and the captains of the host went out from the presence of the king to number the people of Israel. 5 And they passed Our-Iordan, and pitched an Aroer at the right side of the city that is in the middes of the valley of Gad and toward Iezer. 6 Then they came to Gilead, and to Tadamhodshi, so they came to Dan Ian, and so about to Zidon. 7 And came to the fortress of Tyrus and to all the cities of the Hivites and of the Canaanites, and went toward the south of Judah, Uan to Beersheba. 8 So when they had gone about all the land, they returned to Jerusalem at the end of 9 months and 20 days. 9 And Ioab delivered the number and summary of the people to the king, and there were in Israel 800,000 strong men that drew swords, and the men of Judah were few 100,000 men. 10 Then Dodd's heart smote him, after that he had numbered the people, and Dodd said unto the Lord, I ha sinned exceedingly in that I ha done, therefore now, Lord, I beseech thee, take away the trespass of thy servant. For I ha done very foolishly. 11 And when Dodd was VP in the morning, the word of the Lord came to the prophet Gad Dodd's seer, saying, 12 Go, and say to Dodd, Thus saith ye Lord, I offer thee 3 things, choose thee which of them I shall do to thee. 13 So Gad came to Dodd, and shewed him, and said to him, Wilt thou that soon year as famine come upon thee in thy land, or wilt thou flee 3 months before thine enemies, they following thee, or that there be 3 days pestilence in thy land? Now it is thee, and see, what answer I shall do to him that sent me. 14 And Dodd said to Gad, I am in a wonderful strait, let verses fall now into the hand of the Lord, for his mercies are great, and let me not fall into the hand of man. 15 So the Lord sent a pestilence in Israel, from the morning Uan to the time appointed, and there died of the people from Dan Uan to Beersheba 70,000 men. 16 And when the angel stretched out his hand upon Jerusalem to destroy it, the Lord repented of the Ule, and said to the angel that destroyed the people, It is sufficient, hold now thine hand. And the angel of the Lord was by the threshing place of Araunah the Ibusite. 17 And Doeg spake unto the Lord, when he saw the angel that smote the people, and said, Behold, I ha sinned, yea, I ha done wickedly, but these sheep, what ha they done? Let thine hand, I pray thee, be against me and against my father's house. 18 So Gad came the same day to Doeg, and said unto him, Go vp, rear an altar to the Lord in the threshing floor of Araunah the Ibusite. 19 And Doeg, according to the saying of Gad, went vp, as the Lord had commanded. 20 And Araunah looked, and saw the king and his servants coming toward him, and Araunah went out, and bowed himself before the king on his face to the ground. 21 And Araunah said, Wherefore is my lord the king come to his servant? Then Doeg answered, To buy the threshing floor of thee for to build an altar to the Lord, that the plague may cease from the people. 22 Then Araunah said unto Doeg, Let my lord the king take and offer what seemeth him good in his eyes, behold the oxen for the burnt offering, and charres, and the instruments of the oxen for wood. 23 All these things did Araunah as a king jove unto the king, and Araunah said unto the king, The Lord thy God be forable unto thee. 24 Then the king said to Araunah, Not so, but I will buy it of thee at a price, and will not offer burnt offering to ye Lord my God of that which doeth cost me nothing. So Doeg bought the threshing floor, and the oxen for 50 shekels of silver. 25 And Doeg built there an altar to the Lord, and offered burnt offerings and peace offerings, and the Lord was appeased toward ye land, and the plague ceased from Israel.